Welcome back to another edition of Whatchu Spinnin. This is episode 17. It is just me, Matt, and Jake today. George had some scheduling conflicts, so we're going to hammer out our albums, and he will join us again to talk about Kaleidoscope at some point.
Shout out George. I know he would have had a lot to say.
Oh yeah,
about
Definitely.
these, but
yeah, we got a lot to say about these albums too. So I can only imagine. I can only imagine what he had. Anywho, we're going to dive right in with Jacob's pick for this week. What did you have for us, Palomino?
yes. So this week it's a like collab, like they got together. A rapper, very known, very like OG, you could say, like old school rapper, which is Ghostface Killah, with Bad Bad Not Good, like an up and coming like instrumental kind of band. This group of like 3 or 4 dudes. I think they added more people and stuff, but Bad Bad Not Good and Ghostface Killah, Sour Soul.
Yeah, yo, from the righteous minds of the law, he powers my soul, teaching me positivity in the whole, how to walk amongst the evil and smile in the face of death, to speak knowledge and wisdom to my last breath. I'm a humble brother, got love for another. Body heat is what'll keep you warm under the covers. Make peace, not war, make baby some more. Keep it.
And this is, it's one of my favorite. I love playing this and putting it on just because it's like real jazzy, like real like something you could sit back, kick back, and like listen to. It's got a lot of bangers on it. It's got a couple instrumental tracks. All the tracks kind of have, to a certain degree, like an instrumental,
Like very instrument oriented, yeah.
Yeah, it's like an album that not a lot of hip hop albums have, like live instrumentation, where it's like it's not really sampling or like DJing. It's just like a group that's playing instruments, and someone, instead of singing, they're rapping over it basically.
Right.
But yeah, what y'all thoughts? Hit me with it.
It was fun. Apparently there's an instrumental only album out there of this album, which would be great to hear.
Yeah.
That'd
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I like the vibe that it threw off with the 70s throwback with the sampling and the music that they used. It had that kind of old nostalgic kind of feel from like the game show era, the soap opera era. It was just all kind of that music you hear in between stuff. They incorporated that all into the album, and it came out really well. The Bad Bad Not Good aspect of it, I guess it's like a jazz fusion kind of band, which is kind of cool to have him doing that with hip hop, and it just melted well, and I enjoyed it. I like the instrumental parts too. I think Experience, is that the last song on the track?
Oh yeah.
That's one of my top 3 because it was just I don't know, it was just fun to listen to. You sit back and you just can have your own little story going on in your head, and it was a great album.
It's pretty cool. I don't know if you guys caught it, but if you listen to it front to back, and then if you like put it on repeat, like you listen to the last track, it is like a continuation of the first track.
Oh really?
Yeah.
so like blends into each other?
Yeah. So the last track is pretty much like a follow-up to the first track, basically.
Very cool.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I realized that this time when I was listening, because I had it on repeat, and I was like, okay, is this the same song? And I was like, oh, it's basically the same song, just 2 different tracks. I was like, that's fucking cool.
Yeah. That is, wow. I had no clue about that. No, I loved it. Like, and you kind of just talked about it, but Mono was like it was one of those kind of instrumental tracks, you know, but it was like 20 seconds long, and it like kind of sets a mood, and then Sour Soul gets just right into it, and then after that it's like, oh, we were not going to continue with this, and then apparently at the end, you know, it kind of does pick back up on that theme.
Sure.
But just like you guys said, like the jazzy aspect to it, everything. I loved the guitar riffs, because, you know, it's something that was kind of, you know, more back in the day, you know, like having a guitar riff in a song, and not a lot of, you know, even producers do that nowadays. There's like a small handful, but I loved the guitar throughout it. It was just like on fucking Gun Showers. The guitar on that was unreal.
It's so good.
Got that little tremolo effect, and it just flows real well. It's great.
Absolutely.
So good. I liked like I said, I've been listening to this like since it came out. I think this is like their 4th album that they've done, Bad Bad Not Good.
Not okay. Yeah.
Because I think they started up like on Bandcamp or something.
Right.
And then they had a couple, like they had 2 albums. They had a live album that they did, like 2 live albums, and then 3, which came out like 2012. I need to be fact checked. I don't know what year.
Get your shit right.
But yeah, but then this came out, and when this came out, it was really cool because these guys, they bonded over like hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think they were like college kids, and they were like doing a class together, and they all kind of bonded over like Wu-Tang and Tyler and Odd Future.
Oh damn.
So they had that hip hop background, and for them to have like an album, like one of their, like you could say, first albums, that they have such a legendary rapper like Ghostface Killah.
Oh yeah.
Like, that says something, not only like to their musical talent, but like on a personal level, because you can't, like, that's like an idol, like, Wu-Tang, like,
that's iconic. That's an iconic collab, and honestly, it couldn't have gone better, in my opinion. Like the combination of the two, because you listen to Wu-Tang and all that stuff, and they were aggressive, but they did have some really good like smooth tracks like Cream, all that stuff, and to have it's one of those things that after you listen to it, and then you go back and listen to some songs off of like Enter the 36 or whatever, you're like, oh shit, this actually makes fucking sense. Like it makes sense that they did this, and they destroyed it. They knocked it out of the park. Like oh man, and didn't they end up doing like some Doom remixes at one point?
Yeah,
they did like a remix EP or something of MF Doom, and so to have him on a track, 1 with Ghostface, and 2 to be on a track in general. And to me, I had actually never heard that song. As much of a Doom fan as I am, I had never heard it. You won't find a track that Doom's on where he raps like that. His voice sounds completely different almost.
Yeah.
I had to listen to it I had like started his verse over 3 times. I was like, is this actually fucking MF Doom? Because it doesn't sound like it.
I think it's cool because, like, especially in the picks that we had with Viktor Vaughan and this, you could tell the difference. Like old, like not old, but like newer, kind of up and coming, like Viktor Vaughan Doom, you could say, to like where he was at, where he's like a little bit more advanced, and he's like not as laid back, not going super hard because he's like has something to prove.
Right.
But
he was established as fuck at that point.
Yeah.
When did this come out?
15, I want to say. 2015.
Okay, damn. I was like, I wonder if this came out. It even made me, because I was so thrown back by how he sounded on the track. I was like, I have to go back and listen to like the last album he did before he died, which was the Czarface collab. And I was like, and then I didn't think to look up when that came out, but I was like, how the fuck does it sound so different? And then I went and listened to the Czarface one, and I was like, nah, this sounds like normal Doom. And
it does sound very different.
But that was really cool to me. And then, funny enough, I didn't look, like I had this playing in the car, and I listened to the whole thing, and I didn't catch some of the features on it. And then I went home last night and I was listening to it, and I was like, no shit, there's Elzai on this. I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, man, that was a killer collab too, to have. He
throws out one of my favorite lyrics on the album.
Yeah.
Was, if you hit the rock bottom of the asphalt, that's likely your asphalt.
Yeah. I love that.
Right?
It's so good.
Right?
I like that we talked about Elzai prior to it, so we kind of, because he's kind of very like back end, he like sits in the back, but he like, when he comes up, he comes in hard.
Yeah.
And Elzai and Ghostface on that song, it's so good.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Yeah.
Same thing, because there's a lot of really good features on it. The Danny Brown feature on it.
Oh, insane.
6 Degrees. Oh, dude.
And that guitar intro too. Like I heard that and I was like, oh my god. And then I looked and saw it was Danny Brown, and I was like, oh, this is gonna go fucking nuts. Yeah. I was like, this is gonna be insane.
I like that song a lot. Because when you hear Danny Brown come in, like the beat switches, like the instrument like changes, and it's just like the bass going doop doop do, and like Danny Brown, he's just like attacking the beat.
Yeah,
like,
he's
he's
filling...
rapping with the beat and like filling it in.
Yeah,
It
he's like filling
sounds
the
so good.
spaces between those plucks, and I was like, damn. And that's something I love when a rapper can fill the spaces between like an instrumentation.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn.
And Danny Brown, he's hilarious.
Oh,
like
yeah.
his lyrics are hilarious. He says like something like he's like watching a show and he tells like move your big ass head.
Yeah. He's funny.
I love that part, but Sour Soul, I love how that's like it's not the intro, but it's like the second song. And the lyrics on that, man, Ghostface, he's so lyrically like such a genius.
He was probably my favorite lyricist out of everyone from Wu-Tang.
He says like one of his lyrics on Sour Soul, he says chessboards and swords, alphabetical darts. My clan is brave hearts. Y'all move like Paul Blart.
Yeah, I couldn't catch that in time to write it down, but I fucking yeah man.
I was listening to it back and I'm like, whoa, Braveheart reference, like
Paul Blart
reference, like
like Kevin James.
Yeah, he's so clever with it, man. And
good.
speaking of midgets, with the strength of 10 midgets, I'm gonna murder your son. He says that.
Yeah.
At the end. I love that ending. But yeah, Gun Showers, super good song with Elzai. They bounce back and forth, and like Elzai, he ends his lyric like setting up Ghostface. He's like, you can declare me as sick, highly contagious, and just Ghost just comes in and tears it up. Starts Reality, the instrumental. It's like another instrumental track. It's like kind of like right in between, right in the middle. And I like how they do that. Bad, that they like, they're emphasizing like the rappers, but them as like just like artists, like the drummer, the bassist, the guitarist, they're really good.
They're damn good, yeah.
They're really good. And they've had like features and other albums that they've worked on with like Tyler the Creator, K Tronada.
Oh damn.
They have like a lot. Their discography is like very broad.
Damn.
So like the fact that they have those interludes and those like at the end of the tracks where they're just kind of free playing and they're kind of just like doing a drum break and they're like, you know, kind of having fun with it and doing their own thing. That's like, it kind of plays to their strengths that they do.
Yeah, you know? I like, that is one aspect I really did like about it, was that, you know, it is the whole reason why, you know, people will go and listen to this, because Bad Bad Not Good is, you know, popular, but they're not insanely popular, but people will see Ghostface Killah, and that's why people will go and listen to this. And to have that kind of freedom, because it is their project as well, to do something like that, to have multiple instrumental tracks and to really just have fun and really just make it such a cohesive project that really just shows off both sides, is phenomenal. Stark's Reality, I listened to that one a couple times and I was like, man, Ghostface could have slaughtered this beat. I was like, shit.
But I think it's cool that they did that they just like gave it respect, and because Ghostface, he you know, he has to say that like what he wants to rap on. Yeah. And I feel like it was perfect that's like right in the middle of the album. It's like just breaks away from all the rap, like it's just them, just instrumental. Yeah. Just like live instrumentation. Even when they were touring for like this album and around that year, Ghostface, he would do like some like guest appearances. Oh shit. When Bad was touring, he'd show up to shows with them. That's cool. So yeah,
that's really cool.
That's pretty rad.
Really cool. But other than that, Tones rap. It's Ghostface just like hard flexing. Like, the whole time. He name drops Isley's Brothers and Al Green at the end, like super good. What else?
Because they used Wu-Tang used some Isley Brothers samples back.
Yeah,
a shit ton.
Street Knowledge. What'd you guys think about that one?
That was a good song.
That was a good one.
I like that one.
I like that one.
Yeah, like the intro is like real slow. All you hear is like the bass and like the little drum kick. Yeah. And then you hear Tree. Like I've never heard of this dude.
No.
But his voice is like so deep and like it just comes in like silky smooth. I was like, whoa.
I was like, who is Tree? Like, I was looking at I was like, who the fuck is this?
Make money, like what the fuck? Like I was like, this guy sounds like Boldy, but like before like
right. It's like a hodgepodge of a bunch of different people. That was really cool. I'm like, I'm glad you brought that up because I was listening to that last night and I was like, I might have to go check this guy out. I was like, he was pretty cool. I was like, see what he's all about.
I liked his voice. His voice is very deep. You could tell it's someone different.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't sound like someone like you've heard.
Right.
I really liked Ray Gun.
Oh yeah.
Obviously.
That's a good one.
That one I think it's really, really unique just because like it has Doom obviously on it, but like at the end of the track, Bad, they kind of have their own like twist to it because you could tell that when they were like making it, they had it in mind that Doom was going to be on it. So they kind of added like this like villainous like ending to it.
Kind of like horn kind of thing.
It's kind of like cartoony. Like it's like very like animated, you could say. Like it's like very, it sounds like very Doom-esque. Like very villainous.
Yeah. Like without even looking at the track list, after I had done it, I was just sitting there. I wasn't paying attention to the screen or anything, and that came on, and I was like, "Yeah, this is the one with Doom on it."
Yeah,
I was like, "Yeah, there's no doubt." Like, as soon as that came on,
the ending is like perfectly for Doom because it just sounds like something he would sample, like something that he would do.
Yeah.
So that I love that they did that. Like the creativity behind it, like it's very unique. Nuggets of Wisdom. I really like that song.
Yeah.
I made that for my snippet just because I love that intro.
Yeah.
It's so jazzy, and then you hear the little like sax come in, like just very faintly you could hear it, but it's like it adds a little bit of spice to it.
A little bit of pepper.
Food's also really good too.
Yeah.
This whole album, man.
It's hard to pick a top 3. Very hard.
Since it came out, I've been listening to it. I love putting it on just because it's one of my favorites. Good lyricism, good instrumentation, live instrumentation. It's so special too, especially to rap. So.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
When you hear it in a project like this, I didn't even know there was an instrumental version of it because that would be.
I know.
Yeah. Callie had it at Moonrock once, and I went and looked for it.
Time out.
I couldn't find it. Yeah, the instrumental version I saw because I get like emails from Callie at Moonrock, and she sent me an email and I was looking at the list, and she had this, but the instrumental version. And I've been looking for the instrumental version, and I went and I looked for it in the hip hop section, and I didn't find it. I thought it'd be there.
Yeah.
It was probably somewhere else.
Hidden.
She had it there.
Nice.
But
that's pretty legit.
Yeah, the instrumental, like, it's really special. It's very unique. Not a lot of rappers will collab with like bands.
A full band,
like a full band, you could say. And they do an album that it's just like. Not much sampling, not a lot of like DJ scratches. It's just like guitar, bass, drum, and a rapper.
Oh yeah.
So, but yeah, what are your guys' top 3 in that case?
Oof. Matt, do you want to go? You want me to?
Yeah, I'll start it off.
Okay. Yeah.
I think we all like Gun Showers.
Oh yeah.
Just because of the lyricism on both sides, from Ghostface and Mr. E throwing it down. 6 Degrees. I like the instrumental beats in that song. Same with Experience. I think that's probably one of my favorite tracks, even though it's an all instrumental track. It just it ends the album well, and like you said, it kind of leads into the beginning of the album. So it's a good, well-rounded song, and just gives you a throwback vibe that I don't know, just chill.
Yeah,
you could throw it on for anybody. I think anybody would like it. Like, you couldn't argue that it wasn't good music at all.
Yeah, and I think that you could say that for the whole album, which is why I was like. Damn, because I had never listened to it until this week, and I was like, "Shit, man, this is."
Me too.
I was like, "Shit, this is incredible."
I'm thinking about it now, because now that I realize, because I found it out this week also that the ending leads to the beginning. This album is kind of like infinite. Like you can listen to this forever.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
literally.
It's just playing in a time capsule somewhere.
Yeah.
No, it's like I said earlier, picking a top 3 was kind of a pain in the dick. But number 3, I got to go 6 Degrees. That instrumental just goes too hard. Danny Brown's feature on it is fucking unreal. Number 2 is Ray Gun, because shout out Doom, and it was just such a we talked a lot about that track. It's just perfect almost. And then, I mean, it's probably the theme of the thing. Number 1 was Gun Showers. Just that whole song, just so damn good.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys picked out like my favorite tracks on the whole album. On this whole album, it's so good. If I had to pick, and not in any order, just because I can't, because I love all these songs. But I would go same thing. Gun Showers with Elzai. 6 Degrees. So good. I really like. At first, I didn't like it, Nuggets of Wisdom, but now I like it a lot more.
Right.
Because it's like very jazzy and it's very like, yeah, there's rapping on it, but it's a lot more that you hear even after the lyrics that Ghostface like makes. You hear a lot more that they come in Bad and they start like doing a drum break and like going off and doing their thing. But yeah, Gun Showers, 6 Degrees. I guess honorable mention, Nuggets of Wisdom. And then Street Knowledge, just because that tree like blew me away.
Yeah,
First time I heard it. First time I heard it, I was like, whoa.
Who dis?
And I just listened to it like 10 times again, and I listened to the album again, and I was like, yep, favorite album.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Well, that was Sour Soul by Ghostface Killah and Bad Bad Not Good. We will be back to talk about Matt's pick. All right. We just wrapped up talking about Sour Soul by Ghostface Killah and Bad Bad Not Good. We are going to dive into Matt's pick for this week. What do you got for us,
Yes,
Bob?
sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going with Red Hot Chili Peppers, Blood Sugar Sex Magik. There we go.
There we are.
There it is.
Should have been, could have been, would have been dead if I didn't get a message going to my head. I am what I am. Most motherfuckers don't give a damn. Oh, baby, think you can be my girl, I'll be your man. Someone for the phone, do my tell her well done. Little Bo Peep coming from my stun gun. Beware, take care. Most motherfuckers have a cold ass stare.
There it is.
1991, produced by Rick Rubin, engineered by Brendan O'Brien. Very influential album for that time. 1991 was pretty crazy time for rock and roll and just everything. You know, everything was exploding. It was new music, Pearl Jam, Nine Inch Nails, Nirvana, all these other bands coming into fruition. This album had so many good tracks on it. It was just like, for me, it was hard to even fathom making a top 3.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Even making an album like with this many good songs on it.
Oh, yeah.
Right, and most of those songs,
good.
the ones that I like weren't a lot of the hits. Like, I didn't really like Under the Bridge at all. That's that's a great song, but there's a lot of other good songs on here. I have a lot to say about it as well. I'll let you guys start off.
Oh, dude. Well, first off, like, so many good songs.
Oh, you
like,
God.
Like, and so good to the point that it's overheard. Like, especially, like, their bigger songs. Because, like, Under the Bridge, you said, that's one of their, like, bigger songs that, like, you hear it every day.
Yeah.
Like, but even the other songs on it are bangers. So many, dude. Like, I have so many memories of listening to this. Especially when I was, like, really into, like, listening to, like, you could say, like rock music and stuff like that. And when I was playing like guitar, because I was really into that like type of style, I really was getting into it a lot more because like you want to play, like you want to kind of be like that, you know, like be able to play like that. Because the guitar, especially the drumming on it, just like they go so insane. A lot of the songs that I liked, I was making I'm just like writing my notes and stuff, right? And I'm like, all right, this song's good, top three, and I'm looking at my list now. I have like 7 songs in my top 3. Like, what am I gonna do? Like,
Right,
dude. But yeah, they're such good songs, man. Like, so many of them are like so memorable, and like some that I hadn't listened to in a while, but like are also like really fucking good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you guys basically hit the nail on the head. This was like Matt and I will probably mention this a couple of times because I loaned him the book. I read Anthony Kiedis' book when I was like fucking 13 years old. Definitely should not have been allowed to do that. But I've read it 4 times because it's a great read. And then he also talks about, you know, some really damn good music and some stuff behind it. And when I got into the Chili Peppers, I got into like the By the Way album and Californication and like some like basically the big songs off of Blood Sugar. And when I read that book, I read the story that he was telling behind it, and I was like, damn, like that is like there was so much going on in his life. And I went back and listened to it, and it immediately became like one of my favorite albums by him, like probably top 2. And it's like this was kind of, you and I kind of mentioned this earlier this week to each other. I was like, this was kind of like the defining album for them. Like this was
Probably
like
their best album.
yeah, this
Probably.
was like,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
we're the fucking Red Hot Chili Peppers. Here you go.
Yeah.
And whether it was like Kiedis' songwriting, whether it was just like hilariously clever on it, or pretty deep and like kind of vague at the same time, or Flea and Chad Smith and John Frusciante just going fucking bananas the entire track. Like there's so much I could say just about that in general, but
Dude, a lot of the solos that they do on it.
oh god,
Dude, you could really tell that they were getting like real good and real comfortable with like how they were playing.
oh yeah,
Especially all together. Like
The more you listen to it, too, the more you hear Flea and his bass playing. And
Yes.
he used to do a lot of slap bass in the early days of Red Hot Chili Peppers. In this album, he's more like stylistic and maybe plucking the strings a little bit more. But he has some great intros, like Funky Monks.
oh my
oh,
god,
dude, I love that song.
That's
Yeah.
once you hear that intro, you don't forget it.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
You can just repeat it. And if somebody knows that song and you start doing it, like when we do it together, you know what
yeah,
song we're doing. So,
yeah. I did that to you the other day. I was like, oh bro, you know what was playing when I got out of my car, and you were like, what? I was like, Funky Monks, dude, fucking bam.
Yeah.
And then he started doing it too. He's like, I fucking love that, dude.
Dude, that song's so good. Yeah, because the bass, like you hear like that bass really come in.
Yeah.
Another song that I was real like I listened to a lot more. Mellowship Slinky in my B major.
Yeah.
That one's good. Love that one. Yeah. The bass is so good. Like you hear it kick in, like
Yeah.
it's real good, and it. Yeah, I remember it now every time I listen to it. Righteous and the Wicked.
Yeah.
That hook, dude. Like it just caught like Righteous and the Wicked, war and peace. Like
Yeah.
dude, it's so good.
He's like so chanty with the choruses sometimes.
He is. He's almost preachy in a sense. He starts off the album with Power of Equality, trying to like just throw out like to love each other and stop
Yeah.
the hate. And a lot of his lyrics in that song are very powerful and are still resonant today. It's a great,
Yeah.
it's a great ballad in a sense, not like a power ballad, but more like an anthem to
Yeah.
stop things.
Funny you mentioned Power of Equality. Remember yesterday how I just kept talking about In Living Color? Because I was just like, I listened to that song and I was like, why do I think of like watching In Living Color? Like when I hear this song, just like Jim Carrey skits from the 90s and 80s and shit. I'm like, why does this make me think of that? And that's why I was like, hey Matt, do you know where I can watch that? You're like, not if you don't have the DVDs. And I was like, damn it. Because I know you have some. And I was like, you bastard. But no, I don't know why. That was just like a weird thing my brain did, was like, you should watch like Fire Marshal Bill. And I was like,
But yeah, Mellowship, that is a good
Yes.
song. I was referencing a different song, but yeah, that is a good song. Yeah.
Suck My Kiss, dude.
Yeah, that's a good one.
With starting on that one also.
oh
like,
God.
dude.
That's,
So
I'm
good.
gonna have a really fun time making that snippet later.
That's
Because that's what
nice,
I
yeah.
think that's what you
fuck it.
picked.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
yeah. I'm gonna have a fun
Love
time
that
making
song,
that.
dude.
Just-
That song has always been one of my favorite. Like,
Yeah. This whole album was very influential for that movement in the 90s too. There wasn't anything really poignant, and then this album came out the same time that Nevermind was released by Nirvana.
which is
Same
unreal.
day. Same day.
Same day.
Same day.
oh damn.
Holy shit!
That's
I
just
did not know
amazing. It's like
Yeah.
those albums.
That's really cool,
and
yeah.
that kind of set the tone. And Pearl Jam, and they toured with Pearl Jam for this album. Smashing Pumpkins a little bit too.
That would've been-
and Nirvana as well.
That would've
That's
been
how we
such
got
a
to meet
sick tour.
Kurt Cobain and all that. The album was produced by Rick Rubin, and they went to a mansion that was owned by Harry Houdini, the old magician. Was supposedly haunted, but I don't think it was. Maybe it was. Who knows? But
Yeah.
I think Chad Smith said he didn't want to stay there because it was haunted or whatever. John Frusciante said the same thing. So it has a good vibe for the feel of it, and it's very bass heavy, very drum heavy. And I didn't really notice the drumming until later in life. I've heard this album a lot in my life, and when I replayed it this time, the drum and the bass stood out more than anything.
Yeah, that was the same for me. And speaking of the drumming on it, on Breaking the Girl, it has that drum track throughout. The like Chad's going. It's not intense. But then I don't know if they did an effect or like used a different type of snare, but at the end when it's getting like, really that acoustic guitar is going nuts, the drums sound so fucking dramatic. Like
They do.
Yeah.
like cinematic. It goes from like, this kind of acoustic kind of drum beat, and then it just turns into this boom, dun, 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 and it was like a movie. I was like, what the
It's very like tribal.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah,
what the hell?
I think they all did percussion on that song, from what I remember reading. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even Anthony Kiedis was playing drums on that song. It was number 3 on the billboards when it came out, so it definitely hit the masses and like like you said, put them on the map and like, this is us, this is who we are.
Exactly.
It's funny that like we still listen to a lot like Under the Bridge. Like
Oh, yeah.
everywhere, dude.
Yeah.
It's a really good song.
There's some good outtakes on this album. The Soul to Squeeze from the Coneheads soundtrack.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be on this album, and they didn't include it on this
And
album.
they put it on One Hot Minute, didn't they?
No, it was on It was on the Conehead soundtrack.
Oh, it was just on the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Damn, I must have gotten like a LimeWire copy of One Hot Minute because that song was definitely on it.
That's another good track, you know.
No,
That's another good one.
I forgot that song was from this era. So speaking of Under the Bridge, I had kind of taken a break I hadn't listened to Chili Peppers in a long time up until, kind of the start of the summer. I was like, let me get back into the Chili's because I had listened to them so much when I was a kid, like when I was young and stuff. And so I would kind of listen to them here and there, but then I was like, let me get back and revisit all this stuff. And I didn't go and do Under the Bridge first, oddly enough, but I heard that song again, like recently, and I was like, damn, I don't care. I was like, I know that it's overplayed or whatever. I was like, but I fucking love this song. I remember, speaking about you playing guitar, I remember when I was still playing and learning, that was like my white whale of riffs to try and learn, and I still never learned that. That intro riff on it is just so beautiful, and then it gets to the end where he has the chorus singing behind him. Oh, very well put together song. It's a reason why it's such a mainstay. But I was like,
very cool music video too. I remember being in middle school, and when it came out on MTV, when that was still a thing, MTV.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you said, that's all I picture is him running with like the mushroom cloud behind him. He's like everything's jiggling and stuff.
And his hair, he looks like fucking Fabio because he's got that same shaped head, and he's like, oh my god, it's so good.
I feel like anyone and everyone that has ever played guitar has tried playing that song.
Oh yeah,
sure, definitely.
Yeah,
like for sure.
The photography too. I brought the album, so obviously I got the insert, but
if you want to walk up and show it too, you can.
Walk up. It's got kind of band photos, all the band doing their thing.
Oh yeah.
Gus Van Zandt, who's a producer, director, all that jazz, did the photography for the album. The album cover was not done by him. It was done by Anthony Kiedis' tattoo artist.
That's fucking badass. I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But just a fun album. Like it's just happy in a sense.
Yeah.
You know, as much as the lyricism and music is dark and about drug use and debauchery and sexual encounters, Apache Rose Peacock, all these different things. It's just fun to listen to, and you can like get pumped up or just be chill and listen to some of the songs. It's a well-rounded album.
It really does. It is, kind of does have both sides of it, which is really nice. Apache Rose Peacock, dude. I like, honest to God, I don't think I think I might have heard that song like once or twice before I went back and listened to this, and just that the intro to it's baller. Like the instrumentation on it is fucking badass. But then it's just that first lyric, sitting on a sack of beans, and then he says something about New Orleans. I'm like, God damn it, dude. I'm like, of course there was this at the end of the album because it's like one of the last 4 tracks, and I was like, God damn it. Dude, it's so funny though.
A lot of the lyrics are like super, like you could super quotable. Like you hear them and you know what they're talking about. Like give it away, like the hook to that. Give it, like you hear that, you know what you're.
Busta Rhymes used it.
Yep.
Yep.
Like so many classic songs on this that like.
Oh god.
I'm listening to it over and I'm like, holy shit, this was on here too. I thought that was on Californication. Like I'm like, damn, like.
It was jam packed.
Yeah, it was. It's a lot of songs on that album. You look at the track list, you're like, damn.
Yeah, it's pretty long.
Like
I didn't listen because they have like a deluxe version of it that they had like. Are they live songs or are they just like additional?
I think they're just
songs?
outtakes, kind of like Soul to Squeeze was.
Okay.
They didn't include on the original album. But yeah, like you guys have all said, it's hard to pick a top 3. I'll try to start it off. Funky Monks, obviously the bassline intro.
Nice.
Suck My Kiss because it's just like powerful and like just one of those driving songs you want to drive fast to almost.
Oh yeah.
And then the title track, Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magic is that whole song is just very like
that there was an outtake from last week's episode. It was Matt and I sit down at the table, you and George were talking. It was when I had the camera rolling for a second. there's an outtake. I just sit down and Matt just looks at me and he just says, "Blood sugar baby," sing Magic. Just starts singing it, and I lost my shit in the moment. And then I went back and watched it again, and it was like 80 times as funny as it was the first time. Yeah, and then like right after that, you guys come and sit down, and I was like, "Fuck!" It's like, God, that was so good. So good pick with that.
Those are my 3. Yeah.
Yeah. My top 3, I gotta go Funky Monks too. I have so many, like, there's just all sorts of honorable mentions I could do. Number 2, Suck My Kiss. Matt, you talked about that one pretty well. Honorable mention was Power of Equality, just because it just immediately, it's just like, here's us, you know, type of thing. But also, yeah, it, like you said, so hard to pick a top 3, but those were mine.
It is, dude.
I like how they wrote it too.
My Lovely Man, that song, like right at, like, especially at the ending of the album, My Lovely Man, I feel like it's a good, like, starting to end, like, you see, like, for an ending part of an album.
Right.
That is probably my honorable mention. But dude, the drum and guitar solo, like, at the end of it, like in the bottom half of the song, they're like, they just like freely, like, they're just having fun with it. Like, you could tell, like, it sounds like super good, and the guitar hook on that song too. But really like also, so in no order, but I'll try to put it in the top 3, I guess. Righteous and the Wicked, probably number 3. Suck My Kiss, probably 2nd, and then we keep bringing up the funky song.
Funky Monks?
Funky Monks,
Funky
dude.
Monks.
Yeah.
I got honorable mention. Naked in the Rain.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's a good one too. It's got a good hook. You can sing that. You know, I forget about that song all the time. And every time I hear it, I'm like, oh, this is a sweet song. I love this track. So
you're right.
Another great track.
And that's a cool thing about it, is that it is one of those that's not super popular, but it is really good, and you forget about it until you end up listening to the thing all the way through.
Yep.
But yeah, that was Blood Sugar Sex Magic by Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Great pick.
So good.
That was a good one.
Yeah, we'll be back to wrap it up with my pick here in about 2 shakes. All right. We just wrapped up talking about one of the biggest albums of the 90s, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Blood Sugar Sex Magic. We're going to jump in time about 13 years to early 2004.
To the future.
We're going Vaudeville Villain by Viktor Vaughan.
We have a witness, but we have no victims. See if we can authorize overtime.
He used to get straight A's. Nowadays, get way paid is the pet phrase. Set the stage, preferably night times. Daylight reserved for research and writing rhymes. Things is harder than the tarnish on the garnets in his gold teeth to eat. Gosh darn it, behold heat. Going all out to the fullest. Old dip. Chrome forfeit if no bullets, no clip. Black electric tape over the hole in the handle. If you hold it right and hit them with it, they can't tell.
Which was my pick for this week. The first album that MF Doom did under the Viktor Vaughan moniker. He ended up releasing 2 full albums and an EP, and a couple singles that were basically just re-releases of stuff off of this and the other one. But one of my favorite albums that I've discovered in the past 10 years. But what did you guys think about it?
Dude, some good old Doom.
Right?
Some Doom, yeah. I love that he does that he has his, like, kind of like his aliases that he goes by.
Right.
And because I was like listening to this and I was rethinking, like, did this come out before, like, he was MF Doom, or like was it after? It was 2003, right? So like before.
Yeah, it was like this album got put out. I think it was this. I always get it mixed up, but when Mad Villainy. When that album, when Mad Villain got leaked, the album he did with Madlib.
I was reading about that earlier.
Yeah, when it got leaked, Madlib, they were like, "Fuck it, we're not releasing it." Madlib went and did Champion Sound with Jay Dilla and another album, a solo project. I actually think he did The Unseen by Quasimodo. That's when that came out, because that was,
around there.
Yeah, and then Doom said the same thing and released Vaudeville Villain and Take Me to Your Leader.
King Ghidra, yeah.
Yeah, by King Ghidra. So he basically started 2 different aliases at once. And then right after Mad Villainy came out, Doom did Food. So within like a year's time, this motherfucker pumped out 4 albums.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And like albums that like you don't put aside. Like
Yeah, one of those
bangers.
albums was my pick for the first episode of this.
Yeah.
Mad
Very
Villainy.
cool.
So
Bangers.
yeah.
Especially like King Ghidorah, like all his like other, because that's so cool that he has those like side projects that he kind of, I mean like the lore,
Yeah.
like not lore, but like just like the personality that he has around them, and like, because like in this, I feel like I'm listening back to it, and I could hear a lot more of like the younger, like more witty, like that he's rapping, and like it's like more like syllable based, like you can tell like he's like trying to rhyme it like a lot more throughout. But yeah, man, it's like I love that he does this, and it's one of my more favorite like rhyme schemes that he has, like including MF Doom and like King Ghidorah and all that. Lick Upon, dude, super good song.
That song
great
is
banger.
incredible.
Vaudeville Villain, obviously like the second, like the first track you could say, because the 1st one's kind of an intro. Oh, dude, so good.
Yeah.
It's very
So
much
good.
it's like a concept album almost.
Yeah,
Concept
yeah, you
album,
could say that.
Time traveling back to New York City in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of got that vibe to it. And it's got a lot of cool, creativity to it. Kind of pushed hip hop in different directions, I think, especially coming out in 2004.
Yeah.
Just different. It was just way
Yeah.
different,
Yeah.
And I think it helped kind of let other artists kind of go, okay, we can make an album like this and it's going to hit. People are going to like it and dig it. And I think he set the tone for that, early on, and he didn't even know it. And we're realizing it today,
Yeah. Speaking of kind of what you had mentioned just real quick about his different aliases and everything, there's a really good interview like Red Bull Brazil did with him back in 2013. And the entirety of the interview is Doom's just sitting there at a deck and he just plays a track off of one of his albums, and then he sits there and they talk about it. And they started asking freelance questions, and they asked him, why do you have all of these different aliases, And he's like, well, I'm just trying to tell my story, or I'm trying to tell a story. And, you never see a movie with just one character. He's like, I got to have different characters to help tell the story I want to tell. And I thought I was like, damn, that is deep.
It's mind blowing.
I'm like, that is deep as hell. And so that's when I was getting into Viktor Vaughan and his other aliases, and I was like, dude, this is freaking sweet. Like that mentality he had about it was really unique, and I really appreciated that.
A lot of people cite this as his best work, as Doom's best work overall. So, and you can hear it, it's a great album for sure.
Yeah, you could. It's actually cool that they did like a repress. They did like 3 represses on it, like physically.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane because like they recognize like, oh, like people really like this even now.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's like like his come up, you could say. It was like one of his first like projects that he had done, and the features that he got on it too, and the production, I feel like it's really good.
Yeah.
A lot of the beats are like very unique, kind of like electronic. Like some of them you could hear like some electronic like synths in it. But yeah, man, a lot of the songs on this super good. Let me watch it, dude. You know what song I'm talking about?
Yeah, Can I
like
Watch?
the open mics, dude. The open mics are cool. Like they're kind of like they have like random people, not random people, but like different rappers come in and they like do like little skits of it.
Yeah.
But
That kind of I just like to, sometimes I find the connectivity between like episodes we've done recently, and it reminded me of the 3 Feet High and Rising game show, the open mic nights. I was like, man, this reminds me of the whole like 3 Feet High theme that they had. And I thought I've always loved those tracks too. There's so like picking, I think personally for me, just because I love this album so much and I've listened to it so much, this was the hardest one for me to pick a top 3 on. I had to. I listened to it 1.5 times before I even started writing shit down on my top 3.
I changed mine this morning.
Yeah,
I did.
It's like you kind of brought this up. You were like, I feel like you said something about like the production and like the rapping wasn't the way the production was that it all just was very. I can't remember what you said. Damn. But you said like, yeah, sometimes you just don't even notice the rapping because the beats are so cool or something along that line. Yeah, and I said, I totally agree. I sometimes will find myself just listening to the beat, and then I'll hear like one line that Doom says in it. Like, I think it's Radon or Lick Upon where he says, "Find him with his dick head inside a chicken head. A dead chicken's head said it helped the nausea," and I just stuff like that, and it's like, what the hell?
Right.
And so
Putting those words together like that and making it sound good behind a beat is, creative as hell.
Yeah.
Not anybody can do that and do it well.
Yeah.
You could tell that even like at this stage, his rhyme scheme is like so unique, and it's so like Doom, like especially around that time, no one sounded like this.
Yeah.
That's why it's like you could tell that it's like very different, and it's especially for that era of rappers. It was so unique how he was like his rhyme scheme and stuff. I have lyrics for a bunch of them.
You really could.
Yeah.
I almost started doing that, like, let me get a couple screenshotted lyrics, and I was like, I would have 80.
Yeah.
I was like, I would be talking about my album for an hour. Like,
I like each of these tracks on this album. I know most songs in general, tell a story about something, but like every song on this album actually tells a story. I feel like.
Yeah.
Individual stories that kind of leads up, like I said earlier, about a concept album. It's very unique and fun to listen to.
I think we should probably wait, maybe. It's very quotable, like very.
Yeah.
A lot of the songs on it and lyrics, especially like syllables. I noticed that a lot. Like he was like really like going off and kind of talking about different stuff, but like his syllables, you could tell he was doing it not so much for it to like, because sometimes it doesn't make sense, like
right,
because he's just going like in tangents and he's like talking about crazy stuff. One of the songs that I really liked, I just put "Let Me Watch," but isn't that what it's called? With
Can I Watch?
Can I Watch? Yeah,
with the Potty B.
Yes, dude. Oh my god, the storytelling in that is so good, especially because of Potty. Like it's like kind of like this like relationship thing, and then like Doom like fucks up, and then like it's like it turns out funny, but it's like the beat and like how they're bouncing back and forth, like a female rapper with like an MC, like it sounds so good, and it's like cohesive and like
and it's kind of something that he doesn't do all the time in his music, but there's a couple albums where in his discography where you'll find a song like that. Like there's Next Levels off of Take Me to Your Leader or something like that, where that's kind of a similar thing. And then if it's not with a female rapper, he'll have a song where it tells like a love story like that, but it's like a badass song. Like one of my favorite songs off of Mad Villainy is Fancy Clown, and it's Viktor Vaughan, or it's MF Doom featuring Viktor Vaughan, and so he's trading bars with himself.
That's cool.
Yeah, and so no, I love that, and the instrumental on that is so smooth.
Yeah, the
and
piano,
then like once you hear that beat, you're like, all right, Doom's gonna just crush this.
No, it's the harp on it. Dude, the harp. You hear the harp come in on that song, and it's Doom crushes it. Yeah, especially because he's like bouncing back and forth, and it's like it turns out funny. It's like at some point it says like I forget what it says at like let me watch like I rather masturbate than fuck with Big Vaughan. Like,
and he's just let me watch. It's just fucking hilarious.
I love that we quote that every time. Like listening to this, that's like especially when that song comes on.
Oh yeah. No, there's I remember when I started working at Zoomies, or I was in the interview when I with my manager, who was a deathcore bassist for a band based out of Portland, and we started talking music, and he was wearing like a deathcore band shirt, and I was like, well, I can tell you like that, and he's like, yeah, but I also really like Viktor Vaughan, MF Doom, and I was like, what the fuck? This guy was like 6'5", just like tatted the fuck up, like skinny skater dude that played like super aggressive metal music, but he's like, I love this, and we bonded over a Modern Mugging. That was like, he was like, have you heard this song? I was like, bro, I love this track, you know?
It's one of my top 3.
Yep. Same. But there's just, every time I listen to this, like I was saying, it's so impossible for me to pick a top 3. Every time I listen to it, my favorite song switches. And but if I had to, number 3, Can I Watch? Number 2, Lick Upon. There's just there's some crazy lyricism there, and same thing with A Modern Mugging, which is my number 1 pick.
For me, Lick Upon, like you said, it's got funky beats. Lyricism's great.
Yeah,
I liked Lactose and Lectin. The track name alone kind of says it all.
Yeah,
it's kind of funky and weird.
Yeah,
yeah.
And then the Modern Day Mugging, because it had unique sampling, and I felt like it was underwater in like the ocean. The vibe, it was just like very wobbly.
Yeah, it was like
makes sense. Yeah.
It was like a wet stereo.
Yeah,
it's like,
it was just a great landscape for a song. So yeah, definitely a great song.
I'm surprised you guys haven't brought up Saliva.
That's the best
Dude,
track on the album.
I love that.
I
I love
like,
that
yeah,
song.
it is.
Yeah.
It is the best track on the album.
Saliva, like,
Yeah.
Great track.
like in the beat you hear doo doo doo, like it's like,
Yeah.
and then just
That was
that
produced
beat
by
is
like
super
RJD2,
good.
I think, wasn't it?
Yeah,
on
that one was RJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
Oh,
unreal.
dude. Yeah, it's crazy that he had like it was so good, dude.
Yeah.
Saliva's so good. A Dead Mouse, I love that song.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I
that one I
love
always
that
forget about,
song.
and then I hear it again.
Yeah, that's one of the
Like,
first songs I heard on the album was that one.
Dude, the drums on it, and because you hear like the little bass kick in on that song, I love that song. And then Untitled, like when I listened to this album, I kind of I guess skipped over this song. It's just like raining, like it's like kind of ambient, like you know, like just like rain sounds, like kind of like in a forest.
Yeah.
For like a solid like minute or 2 minutes, and then Doom just comes in and he's like rapping over this. Like I'm like. I was listening to it and I'm like, oh, did I get queued up? Like, did I queue up something like ambient music or something? And then I look at it, it's like, oh, it's Viktor. I'm like, what the fuck?
You're like, did I put on my sleep playlist?
Yeah, like, what is this? But that song is really good too. Like, it, because you hear like Doom just coming in and like right after, like it's like kind of like peaceful and like kind of calms you down, I guess. But if I had to pick, man, like gun in my head, like if I had to pick some, The Drop. I really like The Drop. Lick Upon. Honorable mention, Let Me Watch, because that's obviously a number one, but we'll make it honorable mention this time. And then Saliva. Saliva's really good.
That is a damn good one.
But yeah, this album, man, Viktor Vaughan, a lot of people really like it. Especially like if you're a Doom fan, you know what this is.
Yeah.
So.
But it's also one of those things like we've talked about every time we talk about Doom. Is there's a certain level, like it's not like people gatekeep it, but it's just so out of the ordinary that it's hard for people to get into. And once you break that, like once you get into some of his more accessible work like Mad Villainy, you start diving into shit like this and you're like, this guy is just criminally, like for a while he was criminally underrated, but ever since he passed away, people are like, that guy was the fucking bee's knees, you know. But I knew I was gonna blow your mind when I brought this up because I knew you were anticipating it, and when I pulled it out, you were like, "Oh my god!" And I was really excited to see what you had to say about it.
Fun.
That's why I picked it. But I'm really glad y'all liked it. That was Vaudeville Villain by Viktor Vaughan. We will go ahead and dive into next week's.
Yes.
Let's
do it.
My hands.
Hey, wave. Hello.
My head. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah. Right.
My penis.
Yeah.
Wheat in a field.
Do you know what that is? It's wheat.
Oh, you guys actually have your album as well. Fuck you, motherfucker.
Yes. Oh yes. I don't know what that is.
So
but
this
I'm
is
ready.
week 19 that we're introducing? Is that right?
No, this is
18?
episode 17. Yeah,
Oh,
we're doing
so
episode
18.
18.
Okay.
This is episode 18.
This is episode
17.
17.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
We got a ways to go then.
Yeah.
Gotta come up with ideas.
Yeah.
I'm running out.
I got a list. It's hard to narrow it down.
I'm gonna start deviating from my collection because I have to break it up because I have a lot of albums from the same people.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah, same.
I can't do like 2 Rob Zombie albums in a row and then
Yeah.
as much as I would love to, yeah. But all right, so we're gonna go ahead and dive into introducing our picks for next week's episode, which would be episode 18. As per usual, we're going in the order that we started in. Jacob, what do you got for us?
Yeah, so I got one that it's fairly recent that it came out. It's We As Blood, Titanic Rising. I really liked it when it came out. A lot of people liked it when it came out. So something very different than what you'd expect me to pick. Let's
Metal.
just say that.
I love it.
I like
All
it.
right.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm going. I don't have the album with me. I'm going with a band called Zamudo. It's their first self-titled album called Zamudo. Very interested to see what you guys think of it.
I'm interested. You said that. I was like,
Ludo, yeah.
Zamudo, yeah.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
That sounds exotic.
Yeah. And for me, I'm going also with a self-titled album. I'm going with The Front Bottoms, their self-titled debut from 2011. Some kind of Midwest indie emo acoustic punk kind of thing. Not necessarily, I guess, I don't know. Depends on how you want to say it, but it's got like a Midwest. It's like if if AJJ didn't care so much about politics and they were like more accessible sound. That's how I'll explain it. But you guys will see for yourselves.
Yes.
Instrumentation wise, similar to AJJ. That's like the only comparison.
Very cool.
Anyways, that was episode 17. We will see y'all next week for episode 18. This has been Whatchu Spinnin. Have a great week.